Hello children, welcome to today's class. So, in your previous class, we have seen the basic concepts in evolution, that is the evolution by stages, that is evolution of eyes, feathers, and also we have learnt about artificial selection. So hope you're clear with the concepts. And so today we are going to see part 10 in heredity and evolution. So today's concepts are the last concepts in your heredity and evolution, and this will be the end of the chapter. So coming to evolution. So the concept, the other concept involved in evolution is not progress, or the other way you can say, evolution should not be equated with progress. So what is this evolution should not be equated with progress? So listen, there is no real progress in the concept of evolution. So progress in the sense, it is development. Evolution is just the production of diversity of life forms and shaping of this diversity by the environmental selection. I told you already, it is by natural selection or by genetic drift. Okay, so evolution, it is just the production of diversity of life forms and shaping of this diversity by environmental factors. So that can be of anything like natural selection and all. So the only progress in evolution appears to be like more and more complex designs of organisms that have been emerging over ages. So like when I was speaking about evolution of eyes, so it started up with the rudimentary eye, that is the basic design, and ended up with the more complicated eyes that we are seeing today. So in the same way, evolution, it is nothing but here the progress that is involved in evolution, it is becoming more and more complex. Okay, it is becoming more and more complex as the ages are progressing. Okay, in case of organisms I'm speaking. Okay, so this will be more clear with the following examples today. So listen carefully. So when a new species is formed, it is not necessary that the old species will disappear or get eliminated from the earth. So it will all depend on the environment. Also, it is not as if the newly formed species are in any way better than the older ones. It is simply that genetic drift and natural selection processes have combined to form a population having different body design which cannot interbreed with the older population. Understand? So this is what is that? So you just can't say that the newly formed species is in any way better than the older ones. It is only due to this natural selection and genetic drift, both these processes combine and give rise to a newer organism which cannot interbreed with the older one. Okay, so in short you can say like this. And you know that it is a common belief that chimpanzees are the ancestors of human beings. And so, however, it is not true actually. So actually both chimpanzees and human beings had a common ancestor long time ago. So the two offsprings of the ancestor evolved in their own separate ways to form the modern day chimpanzees and the humans. So if any of you assume that humans are from the chimpanzees, it is totally a wrong statement. It is because the common ancestor, you have a common ancestor for both chimpanzees and a human being. So in their own way, chimpanzees in their own way started development, and human beings in their own way they started development. Okay, so this is how today's in modern world chimpanzees and human beings are evolved. So again, one more thing is, it is not as if the body designs of older organisms were inefficient. So this is because many of the older and simple forms of organisms still survive on Earth. So I'll give you an example for this. So one of the simplest and primitive life forms called bacteria. So it still lives in most unfavorable habitats, okay, such as hot springs, deep sea, thermal vents, and ice in Antarctica. So most other organisms cannot survive in such harsh environment. So here, so what I wanted to tell you is, though bacteria is a smaller organism, it can survive in extreme conditions also. So human beings, so can we survive in hot areas or extremely cold areas? So here bacteria is doing that. So here you cannot underestimate the power of a smaller organism, that is the older one. Okay, you just can't equate two organisms. So everyone has their own talent. So what I want to say is, everyone is specialized in their own way. So here the title, equation should not be equated with, evolution should not be equated with progress can be satisfied. So in this way you can say that, you can explain this concept, equation should not be evolution should not be equated with progress. So this is about evolution is not progress. And next one is human evolution. So here in this concept we are going to see how humans are evolved, okay, from like what is the origin of humans. So human evolution has been studied by using, as I told you earlier, various tools of tracing evolutionary relationships, like excavating, that is digging earth. So more near is the fossil, it is the age is that less. Okay, if it is deeper, the age will be more. Okay, so in the previous classes I've told you. Carbon dating. So what is this carbon dating is, like I told you, you have our living organisms possess carbon isotopes in your body. Okay, it is I think it is carbon 14 and 15 isotopes. Okay, so like archaeologists, what they do is, like as soon as they get the fossil, they study this carbon. Okay, so the study of the carbon, I mean the radioactivity of this carbon isotope reduces as the ages progress on. So by this they will give you the age of the particular fossil. And also studying fossils and determining DNA sequences. So the DNA sequences are compared with the present generation and the past ones, and by that they will estimate the age, okay, and evolutionary relationship between two organisms. So this is how these are the tools of tracing various evolutionary relationships. And here there is so much diversity of human body and features on the earth, that for a long time people used to talk about different races of human beings. And the races, human races, were even identified, and basing on their skin color. So you know that racism, okay, so basing on the skin color, and named as white, black, yellow or brown. So it is now known that so-called human races have not evolved differently. So what we put the whites or blacks or yellow or brown people, so they are not evolved differently. So I will tell you what happened. So in fact there is no biological basis for dividing human beings into different races. So it is we human beings separated human beings as like basing on their color and caste and religion, but actually there is no like basis for dividing human beings basing on the races. So all human beings, whether it is white, black, yellow or brown, are single species called Homo sapiens. So we have a story behind that, I'll tell you. So it has been now established by research that earliest members of human species, that is the Homo sapiens, okay, came from Africa. So irrespective of where we lived for the past few thousand years, we all come from Africa. And in other words, you can see our genetic footprints. Okay, so our genetic footprints, it is nothing but the DNA. Okay, tell us that we have African roots. So about hundreds and thousands of years ago, some of our ancestors left Africa while others stayed back. Those who left Africa slowly spread over the whole earth. So you might get a doubt so here we the human beings are from a common background, that is from Africa. Okay, so so it is basing on some occupation or feeding habits or something. We got shifted from Africa to different parts of the world. So due to our food habits or something, the color of human beings or the body language got changed. Okay, due to the areas that they are what do you say that they are living in. Okay, so this is how we have our DNA sequence have an African root. So here Mendel's experiments tell us that the mode of inheritance of traits from one generation to the next, and Darwin's theory of evolution tells us how organisms develop from simple to more complex forms, and neither of us tell us anything about how life originated on earth. So here, from the previous classes, we have seen many things. We have seen Mendel's crosses and Darwin's theory of evolution, but nobody told how life originated on earth. So in today's class, I'm going to tell you how life originated on earth also. So hope you understood this human evolution. So origin of life. So please listen carefully. You'll be having some scientists involved in this. Please note down. It will be useful for your competitive exams. So a British scientist, J.V.S. Haldane, suggested in the year 1929 that life must have developed from the simple inorganic molecules. So Haldane, he said that life must have developed from simple inorganic molecules such as methane, ammonia, hydrogen, sulfide, etc. So which were present on the earth soon after it is formed. So he said that the conditions on earth at that time, including frequent lightning, could have converted simple inorganic molecules into complex organic molecules, so which are necessary for life. So these complex organic molecules must have joined together to form first primitive living organism. So Haldane also suggested from theoretical considerations that life for living organisms originated in the sea water. So I will tell you what are the inorganic molecules. Okay. So the theory of this is all the guesswork of Haldane. So later on, what happened is, so the theory of origin of life on earth proposed by Haldane was confirmed by experiments conducted by Stanley L. Miller and Harold C. Urey. Okay, Stanley L. Miller and Harold C. Urey. So these are the two scientists who conducted experiments on the theory of origin that was proposed by Haldane. So he told that, what did he say? Inorganic molecules were converted into organic molecules by combining due to that during combination also they require certain conditions. Okay, so these conditions were given by the conditions that were naturally present on the earth previous years ago. Okay, so at that time inorganic molecules are converted into organic molecules, and this gave rise to a first primitive life form. So this was conducted in the form of an experiment, and also Haldane told that first life came out in seawater. Okay, so that means the conditions were prevailing in seawater. You must have understood by this. So the experiments are, so what they did is they assembled an apparatus to create an early Earth atmosphere which was supposed to consist of gases like methane, ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. These are the gases that were present in the former Earth environment. and and next is water, because we are talking about seawater here. And So this, and there was no oxygen at that time. Please remember, there was no oxygen at that time, and only gases like ammonia, methane, and hydrogen sulfide were present in water. So this was maintained at a temperature just below 100 degrees Celsius. So remember that from this you must have understood there are gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide, and ammonia, and you have seawater, and apart from that, what is that? There is no oxygen, and the temperature is also below 100 degrees Celsius, and they maintained the temperature just below 100 degrees Celsius, and electric sparks were then passed through the mixture of gases. So I told you lightning now. So lightning, it is a natural way in which it is passed through the gases, okay, in the presence of water, and then they were passed through a mixture of gases to stimulate methane that is passed through the mixture of gases to stimulate lightning, and for about 1 week. So this process was done for about 1 week, and at the end of 1 week it was found that about 15% of carbon from methane has been converted into simple compounds of carbon, including amino acids, which make up the protein molecules found in the living organisms. Okay, so did you get, so you know that our body, human body, or any living organism body, DNA and all are made up of amino acids, proteins. I told you in your earlier classes, like when I was speaking about the structure of DNA and all, I gave you like they are made up of amino acids and proteins. So what happened is, due to the passage of this electric sparks over these gases, the methane, okay, so the methane is converted into simple compound of carbon. So methane is CH4, and gradually hydrogen is removed from it and a simple carbon compound is formed. Okay, sorry, not simple, hydrogen is not removed, sorry. Simple carbon is, simple carbon compounds are formed due to the continuous passage of sparks through the methane, and it gave rise to carbon based compounds like proteins and amino acids. Okay, so amino acids and proteins are a mixture of carbon and hydrogen. Okay, and so this amino acids and proteins are the basis of living organisms. So this is how what is that life has, life arose from the earth initially. Okay, so this experiment provides the evidence that the life originated from inanimate matter or a lifeless matter like inorganic molecules. So now this is how humans or living organisms have been created from simple, what is that, from inanimate or lifeless objects, okay, like methane, hydrogen sulfide and ammonia. So due to current passage continuously, so carbon based molecules are formed like proteins and amino acids, which gave rise to what is that, a DNA, and then gradually a cell, and this cell on multiplying gave rise to more complex forms, and today we are produced, that is the human beings, we are in a position to answer the questions, answer the above questions, okay, are evolved. So this is how evolution, so life is evolved from simple to more complex forms of organisms. So this is how So this is how a general experiment was conducted, and this is just an estimation. This is just an estimation that is given by Halden, and this was proven by experiments conducted by two scientists, that is Miller and Urey. So this is how life is originated on Earth, and so this is the end of your heredity and evolution. And these are the questions you need to solve in your homework books. So meet you in the next class with a new topic, and the next coming topic is what is that, reproduction, which is a very very important topic. Please be conscious and try to hear the concepts properly. See you in the next class. Thank you.